he lost that. This time, though, he does scout it, and he scouts it early.
Okay. Well, so this is really nice for Reynor. Make no mistake. He can actually take care of this with the drone pool. It's really far away, though, so we have to keep in mind that he is losing mining time. Because the other important thing is that Innovation's not 3-raxing, he's 2-raxing. There is a bit of a follow-up here. If he could just get one of these barracks, he could at least try to make a Reaper and continue the game. He does get one, but the second one is actually going to be... I think it's a goner, right? Like, you gotta get the cancel.
Yeah. I think that at this point, Innovation just wants to make Reynor believe that maybe he should pull even more drones towards this point.
All right.
And it's like, yeah, no, I'm definitely going to try to save that barracks. And obviously, we can see there's not another barracks being built somewhere. This is not something that Reynor could have been 100% sure of. But I think at this point, Reynor is going to put 2 and 2 together. I mean, this is a fantastic start by Reynor, and you got to give him kudos for that scout, right? Like, oh, he does end up losing a single drone, but it's still got to feel really good if you're the Italian. Now, do you think that he goes mech from here, or do you think that we'll actually just see bio? I feel like this is a bit more of a bio map, though, right? Whoa, that drone.
So going for bio makes a lot more sense. Reynor perhaps going to go ahead and go for a 2-base layer Spire. Can try and control the game here, which is also popular on Golden Wall. But because we're kind of offset, this game started off very weird. I wonder how this is going to work against Innovation's Fusion Core.
Yeah, me too. But it's cool to see him go at least for a very quick layer. Dolls actually denied a Reaper from hopping into the main base as well. That's pretty damn awesome. Because at this point, if you're Innovation, you're not even 100% sure, like, has he maybe mined out the gold? Like, or excuse me, the back minerals in? Is he trying to squeeze the drone to the low ground? Is he actually a 2-base Zerg? Was he afraid to go up to 3 bases already? So obviously very nice there by Reynor to prevent that Reaper from getting into the main base. Now, Reynor's Overlord is getting very close to things that it would love to see. It spots the starport, it sees the tech lab, does not see that third CC yet, and I think that's something he would have loved to confirm.
So I think I would like to see it, but it might be a bit too dangerous of a play to go for it when he can actually just shut this down.
That is so aggressive, by the way, of this battlecruiser. Just gets on top of these 4 queens immediately. There's quite a bit of energy on these queens, though. So the Hellions, they really need to make the difference here. Another queen shows up in the main base. And I think this BC is at this point in trouble. The Hellions are trying to get a favorable fight against the Zerglings, but that's not really happening either. Beautiful defense by Reynor, and Reynor immediately fires up 8 Mutalisks.
Not too much of a surprise to see Reynor with fantastic lane control, just making sure that they couldn't enter, they couldn't get any farther into the base, but not actually chasing after them, so they all get barbecued. And there are the mutas, which, yeah, we were talking about it, probably just the best call, because now you can immediately counter.
Those mines,
really
though,
smart.
that's really cool. Innovation, that is such a cool play. Gets 2 Mutalisks immediately. This battlecruiser is going to go down, though. And that is obviously very nice, because we saw how long they were alive. I'd love to see him turn around with his mutas and get those Widow Mines, no?
Yeah, I agree. I don't want him to lose track of them.
Oh my goodness. What?
And then lose 2 more because one was weak. That's... he needs to just clear the Widow Mines. Just take the freebies. There you go.
Well, they might actually fire at this point. No, okay. I guess he barely has enough. That should have been so much better for Reynor. I mean, the Mutas have been out for like a minute and just lost 5 Mutalisks already. Sick plays by Innovation, though, setting up the trap there, knowing that the Mutas would chase. But I think afterwards, Reynor should have just chilled for a split second and not dive into the main base.
About Innovation pushing out, because Innovation can't really just go into last game's Cyclone mech. He has to build those Thors, which are going to slow him down.
There is a mine on the south side of that refinery. I'm so surprised to see Reynor doing this without bringing Overseer, by the way. Now, he didn't fly into any mines this time, but I just really feel like he should be bringing in Overseer at this point, because he knows he's going up against MECH. He knows there were quite a few mines produced already early on, and there was no reason for Inno to not build any additional mines, because they did so well in the first place. So I'm a bit surprised by that.
Yeah, you don't usually see him more so afterwards, but yeah, it might have been an option. I would really like to see Reynor take the down the bottom side of the map, because this was... I talked about how MECH has really fallen off from this map. It turns out this map is so large that, like, even if you have that one good MECH push, right, that's kind of what MECH does, it still is so much of, like, whack-a-mole. I got your hatchery, oh, you still have 2 on the south side. So I'd love to see him do that, or at least open up the possibility, but he's not minding on his back at all.
I'm actually very worried, man. Like, Reynor's army, it doesn't look very good. He just made 9 more drones. Obviously, these Hellions can morph into Hellbats. There is a Thor, 2 Thors, and a battlecruiser in the mix. There is just so much HP on the army of Innovation, while I feel Reynor's army is very fragile. He does make 23 Banelings, so obviously if Banelings connect, it could be good, but I don't really like where this is going for Reynor.
It's scary. Oh, nice with this one of mine. Reynor is pushing to the top side with a bunch. Okay, he's gonna get that planetary. It's gone. That's too many banelings.
Could have maybe gotten a few more SCVs there, but still pretty good. At the same time, on creep, his veins are getting so close to all the Hellions, and they do get a couple of very good connections in the end. That doesn't mean that he should chase off creep, and that's what he doesn't do either. And this is all before his 2-2 upgrades kick in as well. So that seemed like a pretty good... Oh, the Mutas, what? Okay,
oh, I guess he was controlling his right army more than his Mutas. That's a little bit awkward there.
He has a lot of banelings, but does he have enough to really fight these Thors? I feel like there is still so much HP. It just looks like such a beefy army from Innovation. He's got the Thors, he's got the battle cruiser, and it feels that Reynor's army is like banelings, and is that enough? That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, I'm really scared because the Thors absolutely have the possibility of like soaking up like 20 banelings. Like Cyclones and Hellions might die to them when surrounded, but the Thors can just be like the walls, the Archons of the Terran army. But Reynor just needs to buy more time. I'm really surprised to see him go for an Ultralisk Cavern here. It always looks a bit awkward. Reynor's actually going to go for a big run-by, which will get into the main and natural, and these are pretty well upgraded.
Yep, that's very nice actually. These links can be super annoying. Innovation is going to lose quite a few SCVs, a lot of them very quickly. Jeez Louise, 25 SCVs have gone down, and this fight still hasn't even really started. But does Reynor have enough to actually win the fight against this mech army? We're about to find out.
The banelings crash in. They're going to be off creep from now on, however. The Thors are taken out by the Ultras, which are still alive. Two of them very, very healthy, and it looks like Reynor will be able to push this back long enough to at least get reinforcements. Wow. That's
massive,
insane.
Though. That is massive, considering the fact that he just dealt a hefty blow to the economy of Innovation. That base on the left top side has like no workers at all. We still have that Spire, of course. We can also get a couple of Corruptors to finally deal with that BC. But whew, what a hold by Reynor. That is a super impressive hold. Innovation scans the bottom side of the map. And he's like, what? You don't even have those bases? Man, you're rich. So he's now picking up on the fact that Reynor probably has the gold. Inno's army is a bit bigger, but Reynor should be able to squeeze out enough units. And I love those infestors, by the way. I feel like we're 2 fungals away from like 10 Cyclones dying.
Yeah. They can be very, very helpful. So gonna surround exactly what Reynor's trying to set up for. Banelings nearly connecting to those Cyclones, but if the Cyclones don't get dealt with, the Ultras will be burned down by the Lock-Ons. Battlecruiser finally dies, and Reynor actually is going to continue with this push, despite all the Lock-Ons available and his Ultra's starting to go down. There he goes. He pulls back. It's always scary. I guess it's also scary to pull back from Cyclones. But he needs more units here.
He's putting up a couple of Banelings there. The Banelings are going to try to crash in, and they did get actually pretty good connections. Well done. A couple Cyclones do go down. 9 Widow Mines at a time at this point being produced by Innovation. But Innovation's economy is in shambles. That Ling run-by, that felt like, you know, it's like, okay, can this get something done? You can run into a mine, you can run into Blue Flame Hellions. Well, that Ling run-by was fantastic. Because if Innovation was at like 73 SCVs right now, it'd be like, oof, this is really tough, right? But the fact that he's only at 43 really makes you feel very good about the chances of Reynor in this game.
His army will take some decent trades, though, especially if these Widow Mines actually do their thing. And maybe they'll also stop these run-bys as well.
Though. Oh, I can already see it. The Infestor Fungal from the high ground. Oh, Innovation has to get out of there. Yeah. That's a big run-by, by the way, once again into the main base. But there aren't that many SCVs to kill. You've killed them all, Reynor. They're done.
Yeah. Any that were built, again, are off to the top left anyways. But if you don't take care of this, then suddenly your production goes down, because those are fully upgraded links. So you cannot leave them alone or depend on reinforcements necessarily.
I don't mind Seer. Reynor still doesn't have an Overseer, right? He's got no Overseer.
You would never really expect such a strong transition into Drilling Claws as well. So he's building one now, but that can be easily popped off by the Cyclones. Well, he sees both armies. He's getting ready to deal with the Collapse, and Reynor goes for it. He pulls the trigger. Widow Mines get a pretty good shot on a couple Banelings. The rest of the shots going on the Corruptors, maybe some Ultras. Where are the Fungals? Catches 2 units. So this seems like Reynor's going to be able to push this back. Does he retreat is always the question, and he will retreat. That's a couple more Lock-Ons for Innovation to get.
As long as Reynor takes care of all of those mines, I think that was okay. I mean, he's still a bit down in army supply, but he's got a couple of Ultras to fall back on. It is hard, though, without creep, right? Innovation obviously has micro potential. Banelings come in from the top side, and they get a couple of really good connections on those Cyclones. There is a Widow Mine to fall back on here. There's still a lot of Banes, but they just can't connect. Innovation is getting great trades. I mean, he's working with a bad economy, but he's getting good trades. But the Fungal is something that even Innovation can't avoid. And he ends up losing a couple of Cyclones. And And once again, with the economy that Inno has, it really feels that losing a Cyclone is even a big deal at this point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he started to rebuild SCV, stopped for a little while. Now he's starting again. He does still have 2 bases that are pretty healthy, but I mean, maybe he can take the bottom left, as in like lift his command center. That's kind of what he's down to is hoping that he can do that. Whereas Reynor also has bases he's very healthily mining from. It has to be a better trade here for Innovation, better than what he's been getting.
Okay, I love these Hellions on the top side of the map because there is no spine crawler here. There are quite a few drones, so Innovation is getting some decent damage done. 6 drones go down immediately. I feel like Inno can just float over his orbital, no? Why doesn't he just float over the orbital, over the main base or the natural towards the goal? Oh my god, what is that? What is this, by the way?
Oh, he got Burrow. I thought he was going to go for Burrowed Banelings, actually, but Burrowed Infestors for the pop-up on the backside
yeah,
of
but
the
they're surrounded by Widowmite. Imagine if a scan goes down. This is insane. Oh my goodness, Reynor with the flank. He's going to land Fungals, but he also loses the Infestors to the Widowmite. That is just insane. What a cool exchange there between these two.
Reynor underestimating how many Widow Mines can be out here on the map, man. Like, he really needs to clean these up as we have more being produced. They're also one of the cheaper and the fastest producing unit that Innovation can really get for bang for buck here.
Not a single spine crawler here or anything to really keep this base safe. Macfield Accelerator getting... Oh my goodness, doesn't get the final shot in the Hellions. Try to get the hatchery, and the Hellions do get the hatchery in the end. And Innovation did float over, by the way, his main base towards the goal. Burrowed Banelings are not going to get the job done. I think Inno is starting to turn this around, yes.
Yeah, well, his economy got back up and running. He did finally lift that main base over to the gold, and Reynor never... I feel like he's still in that composition that can absolutely die to what Innovation has. Like, as far as the actual battles go, I anticipate Innovation doing a bit better as long as he never got surrounded, which he just has barely been able to avoid. And Reynor was the one that needed to get that bigger, much bigger economy. Finally, he mines out his back base and has that other hatchery, but he needs a really convincing fight to feel confident again in this game.
The Infestors are getting in a really cool spot, but there's a Widowmine in the mix here as well. You gotta be so careful. Reynor's scan goes down. That means he ends up losing the Infestor. He does land a Fungal, but I really don't know if that Fungal is gonna make the difference because it's already worn off. And it's just Banelings and Ultras, and Reynor is down in supply quite a bit for the first time in a very long time, and he doesn't even have that economic advantage anymore. Reynor has lost 15,000 resources more than Innovation did in this game.
You know, when he first started bringing up the economy, I looked at it and it was like 6,000, 7,000 difference. That was maybe 4 minutes ago. So it's really, really grown. The transfusers are coming in for the Ultras, but I just always feel like Reynor is on such a awkward composition. He never tried adding in some Vipers or even going to Broodlords, which was a tough thing to do, as much aggression as Innovations are bringing to him. And these Widow Mines apparently were the absolutely right call. They've been giving Reynor such a headache.
Wow, Innovation putting on a clinic here. It really felt that he was in all the trouble in this game. He lost so many SCVs. It felt that his army was going to run out of steam. But the casual 16-minute, 9 Widow Mine at a time transition really got the job done. Insane. I cannot believe that Inno turned this around. That's so impressive. Again, but he never made the mistake of losing all of his Cyclones and all of his Hellions.
He even aggressively plants the Widow Mines down. The last few Banelings are going to try and get some connections, but we're down to Queens and Ultras, which Cyclones will easily lock on and tear down. The Broodlords will never make it into this game with only one Corruptor on the way. Reynor had the economy to try and continue playing this style, but when it started to lose out, when he lost his economy, it really started to show its weakness. And now he's about to have his last fight for game number 5. This is going to be it. Innovation is going to advance forward. Reynor is not going to win this tournament as his last Ultras get taken out here alongside his Queens. Innovation is just too damn good.
I love that. Innovation is just too damn good at this video game. Reynor has had a remarkable run in the lower bracket, and Innovation was on his almost last life is what it felt like, but GFG gets called.